All right, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. As per usual, um, we got a lot to cover tonight. I mean, there's a lot of shit that went on. Clearly, a lot of you know about the interception, if you will, the United States made with a couple missiles. We're going to talk about that. They were stating that the missiles were headed towards Israel. Who the fuck knows? Nonetheless, we are already engaged. That means we're in it. Biden just said yesterday that we weren't going to get involved. At least boots on the ground, we weren't going to get involved. Then he made another statement saying we weren't going to be involved if Hezbollah got involved. But now they shot missiles and we deflected. That's getting involved. Anyway, guys, let's get the 5x5s out of the way. Mr. Landfill, Ozark Prepper, Adriana, Beef and Chicken, Flown Grown, Carrie, Krista, thank you for the 5x5. Git Grimes, thank you for the 5x Whiskey. WTC, The Rooster, Joe, Lisa, Johnny, Ben, thank you for the 5x5. Ben, thank you for the 2x4. Finley the Dog, thank you for the F by Dent. I don't know what the hell that means. Mad Cow, Bush Pig, Prep to Adapt, thank you for the 5x5. Windflower, Scrapper, Jeffrey, 1 second after, Little Lone Prepper, Lexi, Buy the Book, Elaine, Dobie, and S, whatever the hell that name is, thank you for the 5x5. Kalista, thank you for the 5x5. Spotted Fawn, Barbara, Maverick, thank you for the 5x5. Fubar, thank you for the 1776 by 1776. Eli, thank you for the 50 by White Castle sliders. Yeah, those White Castles are great, man. Enough already. Thank you for the 5x5. So, guys, Noodlehead, Bat, Mary, Chip, thank you for the 5x5. Peter, Nadi, thank you for the Angry by Truth. Bearcat, all seeing cat, sorry. Kit, Edward, Russell, Nancy, thank you for the 5x5, guys. So, and Jersey Prepper. So, guys, like I said, a lot to cover tonight. And, again, a lot what I do is I just research a lot of stuff. I look up on certain sites. I get a couple headlines. I'll look them up, especially if it's unconfirmed. And I don't recall ever going this fucking hard or doing this much research, if you will, or looking shit up, rather, ever in any of my videos. And every day it seems to be more shit that we need to be concerned about because shit's getting out of control. Now, I guess us engaging, people are starting to get really worried now. Of course, my mother texted me, my son's mother. She was like, "What do you think? World War III?" I go, "Absolutely." I listen. We are undoubtedly, guys, headed towards World War III if we're not there already. I would say with us engaging the way we did, with protecting Israel with the from the missiles, we're absolutely engaged, and that would call for World War III. Now, Iran is the next move. We have to see in the next couple of hours what Iran's going to do. Iran stated if we got involved, they were gonna go. They were going to get involved if we got involved. Well, we sort of got involved, so see where that goes. Paul F. Blossom, Jenkman, thank you for the 5x5. Melissa, thank you for the 5x5. Yeah, guys, again, I'm using this app. I don't have my iPad with me, so forgive me for missing any comments and, yeah, trying to deal with this bullshit in this app. Anyway, shit's going to get crazy, guys. And we all know that. And every day it's going to seemingly get crazier. All we can do, guys, is stand by and watch. And if shit pops off, we're ready to rock and roll. It's about all we can do right now. But let's get into the show. So, Russian Foreign Ministry, Israel must provide satellite image to prove that it was not behind the attack on a hospital. The attack on a hospital, apparently, guys, is still the talk. I'm hearing from other YouTubers like Ben Shapiro and I forgot who else, stating that the hospital attack was staged and not real. But the U.S. just came up with numbers on how many people died. So again, um, so anyway, listen, let me just get through with this. I'm going to try not to speak in between a lot of the things I got to read because we'll be here for fucking hours. Anyway, the Palestinians do not have a weapon that can cause such an explosion and destruction. So again, guys, with the hospital, with the hospital, that's just the talk right now. And there are a lot of people saying it's fake. There are people saying it's real, but and then whatever mumbo jumbo comes next, whether the Israelis did it or the Hamas did it, no one's sure right now. And of course, guys, to be fair, if Israel did do this, let's just say they did, for argument's sake, they are undoubtedly going to blame Hamas. That's the easier way to get out of shit. Now, as a real leader, if I was the Israeli president and we fucked up, the first thing out of my mouth would be like, sorry, we didn't mean it, and then whatever I have to say to smooth it over as best as I can. So it's still the talk right now. It's still unproven who actually did it. I'm going to lean on Hamas doing it, but people were also saying that the blast pattern and the sound it made before it hit was indicative of a certain missile that only the Israeli has. So, again, guys, only reporting what I'm reading, and Israel has to prove that they didn't do it. That's what it comes down to. The Director General of the World Health Organization, the situation in Gaza is out of control. Every last one of us, guys, knew that this was going to get out of control as soon as Hamas started their shit. When Hamas started killing innocent people for no reason, we knew that this was going to get out of control. And every last person who follows this closely knows where this is going. And we all knew that as soon as this started, this was going to lead into World War III. Every last one of us knew. Whether, again, it's false or not, and I'm leaning on it being a false start because of a lot of shit that happened, this is definitely headed towards World War III. Now, if World War III does happen, again, there is a side of me that thinks it will just because at the rate or the pace everything's going. There's another side of me that thinks it won't because this is the false start to World War III, if that makes sense. All right, trying to go back and forth. Krista, I didn't read that. I didn't read anything about Israel say they're taking responsibility. I mean, I don't know. If they do, it's a bit too late now because they sat there and pointed fingers in the other direction. Islamic Jihad is responsible for the bombing of the Baptist hospital in Gaza. So now it's not Hamas that was is being blamed. It's the Islamic Jihad out of Palestine. That's another militant or militia group in Palestine. Israel Army spokesman is blaming Islamic Jihad for this, no longer Hamas. According to the Turks, Biden's in Israel will voice the Israeli version of the event on the hospital bombing, but avoided this as possible. This was during an interview. For the first time since 1982, Lebanon War, the entire IDF Armored Corps was called up for military service. This is more than 1,000 battle tanks, and it's called Merkavas. If I said that right, Merkava battle tanks. Pretty sure I botched that. Sorry. Where the hell was I? Director of World Health Organization. Our supply has been stuck on the border with Gaza for 4 days, and aid must be allowed to reach the strip immediately. I thought aid was going through. Apparently, it's not. Iran's Al Mahadin, correspondent in Tehran, 3 million Iranians have registered themselves as volunteers for jihad for Palestine. 3 million Iranians. I didn't even think that was possible, but all right. Initial reports, Gaza's Israel warplane bombed a 4-story residential building adjacent to the hospital. The building was completely destroyed. Eyewitnesses said that 70 people were inside. Civil defense are now attempting to search for victims under the rubble. Russian military expert Alexei Linikov, various recordings from Gaza Strip show that the strike on the Baptist hospital was most likely made of an American-made GBU-31 JADAM bomb, as evidenced by force of the explosion and distinctive sound it makes when falling out of the sky. Now, of course, France, for whatever reason, they're not involved, but they've been getting their balls broken for the last couple of days. French airport in Lille, Lyon, Toulouse, and Nice were evacuated after reports of a security threat. This also goes along with the museums that were being evacuated as well a couple of days prior. So, not sure why they're picking on France, but nonetheless, they've been getting a lot of security threats, if you will. Israel evacuates its embassy staff from Egypt. Crowds of people stormed the Israeli embassy in the Jordanian capital of Amman, and the police simply were unable to stop the crowd from rushing in. Russian President Putin ordered Russian Air Force to patrol the Black Sea. The U.S. must move to aviation strike groups in the Mediterranean Sea. Sorry, I want to say this is not a threat, but on behalf of the Russian Air Force, we are starting the patrol in the neutral zone. So keep in mind that Russia's naval base is in Tartus, Syria. I'm pretty sure I fucked that up. Now, President Putin was reminding the United States Aviation Strike Group that they're going to be surveillancing their area, as well as they also within striking distance of Russian ballistic missiles or sonic missiles. Sorry. The Pentagon provided evidence that Israel did not strike the hospital. This is according to Biden. Again, guys, when it comes to shit like this, at this point, anything could be doctored. When you have this much time on your hand to fuck around with shit, anything can be doctored. Argentina media states the Israelis and the U.S. embassies in Buenos Aires were evacuated due to bomb threats. Travel advisory right now: the Saudis must leave Lebanon immediately. A lot of people are leaving Lebanon. Immediately. So U.S. embassy, Israeli embassy. Now the Saudis are leaving their embassies as well. So again, that's super interesting. Like I said, guys, this is heating up dramatically fast. I mean, I don't know what else to. I don't know where else this is going to go. I almost see this escalating to a full-blown world war before the end of this month. So what? 10 more days? 11 more days? And if not, a nuclear device being used before the end of this year. If everybody gets... But everybody is seemingly getting more and more agitated as this goes on. We're going to run into more and more problems. Anyway, the U.S. said recently its Hezbollah launched rockets towards Israel. The U.S. Army will have to respond. Now, this note, by the way, came early yesterday, or late yesterday, sorry. So interestingly enough, the U.S. has already stated if Hezbollah launches any rockets towards Israel, the U.S. Army will step in. Of course, what happened a couple hours ago, the U.S. military stepped in and stopped the missiles from going towards Israel. Germany is now on board in a military operation with Israel against Hamas. Germany deployed the KSK Special Forces Army Command, and the Counter-Terrorist Squad GSG-9, whose main profile is to release hostages to Cyprus. The goal is to prepare for military operation in Gaza. This is the Germans now getting involved. Now, guys, remember what I said about the Alexa story, which seemingly they said it was fake, but I don't. I trust Amazon about as far as I can throw them. And I told you what the Alexa state when someone asked whether or not when World War III is going to start, and they said November 3rd, 6:05 p.m. Germany is now starting to step up their presence in this war, now, and they're also hammering out Palestinians in their country or Muslims in their country from protesting. So this is getting very interesting in regards to the moves Germans are starting to make now. U.S. Secretary of Defense Austin warns Hezbollah about getting involved and escalating any further actions. Israel Army spokesman said 303 soldiers and officers have been killed so far, Israeli soldiers. Current report of a cyber attack in Tehran leaves much of the city without power. Curious where that cyber attack came from. I could tell you it was absolutely the Israelis. Putin's in China. Lavrov is in North Korea. Now, a Russian foreign ministry guy, Russian foreign ministry went to North Korea. North Korea is supposedly setting a plan in motion to attack South Korea. Now, I want to know if the Russian foreign ministry, Lavrov, went over there to either tell them be easy or to see what their plan is and see whether or not they agree and they're going to jump in. Someone made a good point about Russia can't even roll over Ukraine and they're going to jump into this. Yeah. That was an interesting comment. The hell was I? Sorry, guys. Give me a second. Israeli Channel 12, the Israel War Cabinet made it clear to Biden that the ground invasion in Gaza is inevitable. The Israeli Defense Force have completed all preparations for ground operations in Gaza Strip, yet nothing has happened. I want to know why for the last 2 days, they've been saying it's inevitable, it's going to happen, but nothing has happened yet. Thousands of pro-Palestinian protesters outside the United States Capitol right now as hundreds gathered inside. This was from last night. Now, guys, the pro-Palestinian protesters were actually Jews. So the way it came over before, people thought it was like Palestinians or Muslims in the capital, state capital, United States Capitol, sorry. And it wound up not being so. It was just, like 60, 70 Jews clamored in there to protest for a ceasefire. Now, I don't know what protest in the world has ever happened where the government of the other country goes, you see this? We got to stop. We have to cease fire because 70 Jews in the capital said so. Never going to happen, guys. All of this protesting that we're doing is completely and utterly useless. It's not going to stop what's going to happen next. Violent clashes broke out last night during a pro-Palestinian protest in Berlin. Again, guys, one of my kids' mothers is taking her ass over to Berlin next month, right? So in the next couple of weeks. And I've been telling her, you might not want to do that. Shit's going to get a hell of a lot out of control between now and when you leave to Berlin. So everything I've been sending her about what's going on in Germany right now, she's like forwarding it to her bosses and seeing what they're saying next. I'm like, yo, your bosses don't say anything within the next week or two, you're just not going. You know, I'll hit you in the knee with a baseball cap, break your legs, something, but you're not going because this shit's going to get so far out of control. I could see her being trapped there with all the bullshit that's going on in Berlin right now. So we expect that when tomorrow the Israeli army is starting its war against Gaza militants, more than just riots will happen across Europe. So not sure where this comment came from, but I saw it somewhere else, and supposedly it was either Palestinians or an Iranian politician stating that if and when Israel storms Gaza, we're going to see violence across Europe. I think we're going to see it across the world. I think we're going to see it in a lot of places, guys. So if and when Israel goes into Gaza, expect some fucked up shit to happen anywhere else around the world. Jordan says Yemen shot off missiles towards Israel. If that is true, that's bad news. That's very bad news, especially if Yemen's getting involved. And I didn't even think Yemen was going to get involved. All right. Avoid the public if necessary and as so fast as you can. So there was a warning in, if I'm not mistaken, was this Jordan? Or around the embassies, telling the people in the public to stay out of the public and pretty much go home, is what they were saying. We did not inform Israel that we would enter the war. Now, Biden said this yesterday, late yesterday as well. We did not inform Israel that we would enter the war if Hezbollah joined the conflict. I am not saying that Hamas was the one to deliberately bomb the hospital. So Biden sending mixed messages, as he said that a few hours earlier, that Hamas was responsible for this and that there was proof. Now he's saying that he's not saying that they were responsible for it. Biden is the fucking worst. He's the absolute worst. I mean, like, that speech that he gave Benjamin Netanyahu, he was reading from a script. Imagine, like, this is the moment where the world is going to implode and you're reading from a script as to, we're going to be there for you. We will always help you. We love you. He sounded like a broken robot. Like, who the fuck reads from a script when you got some shit going on and this is your people's? You're supposed to be like, we're going to drop the hammer. We'll be by you. Like, it should be firing off. Instead, he's like, and we will support you whenever you need. I was like, what the fuck? Who reads that? This guy is a straight embarrassment. And who let him out of his fucking basement? Anyway, that was the worst fucking speech I've ever heard. So, NBC News, Richard Engels, who's in Israel, stated yesterday a real and growing concern tonight that we're headed towards a regional war. Now, they keep stating regional war. You're going to hear that a lot more instead of calling it a world war. I have my reasons. I have my opinions why they're not calling it a world war. But apparently right now, they think we're headed towards a regional war. We are already at a regional war, guys. When you have Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran, Syria, Jordan, and if it's true, Yemen joining in the fight and wanting to join in the fight, we are already at a regional war status. Palestinian media, 13 dead and a number of wounded in an Israeli bombing that would target a house west of Rafah in the Gaza Strip. A Palestinian child with American citizenship was injured in the Israeli raid. I don't know why that was necessary to know that the kid had American citizenship. Not sure. I just thought that was weird. Now, this was from Yemen yesterday. Horst, and I botched this up, announced a comprehensive jihad mobilization and their intentions to participate in fighting with or for Palestine. So then what Jordan said earlier makes perfect sense. That would make perfect sense because Yemen just made the statement earlier today. The Houthis, again, put the pronunciations because you guys are good at correcting my English, are experienced in war and have fought successfully against Saudi Arabia and the UEA in western Yemen for years. Their guerrilla tactics are notorious. So I'm taking it that the Houthis, however you want to call them, I didn't know who they were till today, but apparently they're an efficient fighting group that wants to get involved in this fight. A lot of people, guys, want to get involved with this fight and help out Palestine, except for they're not helping out Palestine, they're helping out Hamas. Japan I found this to be interesting because they just fell out of nowhere. Japan will draw up a plan to evacuate residents off of remote island in southern Okinawa prefecture to other prefectures in the event of an emergency in Taiwan. So in case Taiwan gets invaded, Japan wants to draw up an evacuation plan for these islands, if you will. Canada called on its citizens to leave Lebanon immediately. Um, Again, I found that to be another interesting thing. I, a, a lot of these countries, guys, they see a lot of shit before we do. So for them to be calling for all of their citizens, to no matter what country it is, to leave Lebanon, they see the writings on the wall. I know a lot of us saw the writings on the wall just based on what we're reading and the research we're doing. Um, Bataan Amphibious Ready Group and Marine Expeditionary Unit directed to move into the region. C-17 Globemaster completed 5 missions, delivering assistance and munitions. 2,000 military personnel placed on high state of readiness. So I guess if these Marines got these notices, they are not home anymore. They are waiting for their further orders. Iranian Chief of Staff Bagheri, support for Israel by other countries may lead to the involvement of new players in the conflict. So anyone who else is going to decide to support Israel, supposedly the Iranian chief of staff is stating new players can join in the conflict, enters Yemen. Israel officials to Router campaign to eliminate Hamas would take years, if not would take months, if not years. We will not send any aid to Gaza. This is from Benjamin Netanyahu's office. We will not send any aid to Gaza before the hostages are released. Right now, there are up to 200 hostages. And the video that I think a lot of us saw, where a hostage was getting medical care, that video, I think, again, was a propaganda video so that people could see how Hamas are not savages. I I think that was a ploy, but if you ask me, that was a ploy. But nonetheless, it was a tactical move to make the world believe they're not as savages as as people think they are. The death toll from the Israeli attacks in Gaza right now is at 3,500. The IDF announced that from a comprehensive investigation and cross-checking of all operational and intelligence systems, it is clear that the IDF did not attack the hospital in Gaza. The hospital was damaged as a result of failed launch by the Islamic Jihad terrorist organization. Jordan, Egypt, the UEA, and Saudi Arabia stand that it's not Israel. So Jordan, Egypt, the UAE, Saudi Arabia also agree that Israel didn't bomb the hospital. A Jewish school in Rome, Italy, was evacuated for bomb threats. We are going to see more bomb threats than we could shake our fist at. Too many jumped to the conclusion too quickly about the cause of the hospital explosion. That was by the British foreign minister. I agree. A lot of people automatically blamed Israel because they want Israel to be the monster in this and not Hamas. The damages to the hospital is a sign that the war must end, and this is coming from Putin. Note that he does not blame Israel directly. France, again, evacuated 6 airports due to terror threats. I can't wait to get the terror threat. I mean, I'm surprised we haven't had any terror threats here in the United States yet. Or at least I haven't read any reports on any. But again, they've been slamming France with these, and now the one Jewish school in Rome. We're definitely going to see these at other Jewish schools around the world. A call for oil embargo on any nation that supports Israel. So this was from Iran. Iran was calling for other Muslim nations to call for a gas embargo or oil embargo for any country that supports Israel. This was actually from the Iranian foreign minister. U.S. Treasury today imposed sanctions on 10 key figures in Hamas movement in Gaza, the West Bank, and around the world, with the emphasis on financing the movement's economic activities. I didn't even know that the Treasury can do that. I don't understand why we did that unless we actually have control of their money, which, again, I would find extremely fucking weird. And if we have that kind of control, there you go. Southernmost Illinoisian said schools in a Jewish school in Toronto was threatened as well. All right. Like I said, I didn't see anything here in the States yet. We have to wait and see. We have enough time because the shit's just going to get fucking heavier. So I found this to be interesting. Biden's DSH has hired a former PLO spokeswoman, Nuwa Ali, to work as an adjudication officer, for the U.S. Customs and Immigration Services. That job decides who gets into the United States as an asylum seeker and who gets left out. Interestingly enough, this PLO spokeswoman is in charge of that. That means, guys, anybody who's looking to seek asylum from Palestine, which I'm pretty sure I'm waiting on that fucking shoe to drop, we're going to start seeing flights of Palestinians come here. And so, again, she is, according to the article, she's a Jew hater. So I could see her absolutely letting these people in with no problem. Israel's cyber people are trying to help locate the abductees. Israel's cyber people have joined the efforts to locate hostages in Gaza. During the last 9 days, 450 volunteers, hackers from around the country, took a break from their work to help locate the abductees. Sorry. And I just got a heads up. There was a bomb threat in Southampton School last Monday. So I guess it is happening here. Whereas Ireland is giving Palestine 13 million euros in aid. I don't see what $13 million is going to do. 13 million euros. I mean, that's nothing. But anyway, Ireland's helping out. Meanwhile, Ireland has a giant flooding problem in, what is it, Cork? Is it Corky or Cork, Ireland? They have a massive flood going on there. All right, guys, so military update. An unprecedented American naval force with over 15,000 American soldiers is enveloping Israel these days. The ships, if you will, or vehicles that are there are USS Gerard, USS Eisenhower, USS Normandy, USS Thomas Hunter, USS Ramage, USS Carney. Now, USS Carney was the destroyer that stopped the missiles from hitting Israel. The USS Roosevelt, the USS Mount Whitney, and the USS Bataan. And then they have amphibious helicopter carriers and rapid intervention forces. The American aircraft carriers contain about 5,000 American soldiers, while the naval vessels that accompany them, aircraft carriers, are not fools alone, but with an enveloping naval force that includes destroyers, missile ships, and according to foreign publications, submarines. So it's also been reported U.S. submarines are in the area. And I think that's why Russia is sending up their planes and their subs out to locate them. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz states Palestinians are not Hamas, and Hamas has no right to speak on their behalf. Palestinian population of Gaza Strip are also victims of Hamas. I said that 1,000 times. It's glad that somebody else said it out in the open. Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan, this war can lead to a bigger war, no shit, but it can also lead to a historic peace. Our president believes that a historic peace is possible. Peace will come to the region as long as the establishment of the Palestinian state is not delayed. So they want Palestine to be established, and if Palestine can be established, there can be peace. The problem is Israel will not allow it. They'll never allow it. Israel fucking hates Palestine, and they hate Palestine even more now because people are like, why do they hate Palestine? Well, Palestine let Hamas in. Palestine gave Hamas the Gaza Strip. Right? So you let your enemy of your enemy stage themselves close enough to your home where they can do what they did. UN security officials reject Russia's lead draft resolution on Gaza. Now, in favor of Russia's resolution was China, Gabon, Mozambique, Russia, and United Arab Emirates. Against it was France, Japan, UK, and the United States. So these are the countries that were against Russia's draft for resolution in Gaza. I would like to know what was in that draft. I wish I could look it up, but I tried and I didn't see anything. Trek, thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate it. I wish I would have seen what was in that draft, but nonetheless, I guess it'll come out later. Reports claim Israel bombed a bakery in Gaza that supplied bread to 100,000 people. Now, again, guys, someone made a very good point. Interesting that Gaza is running out of water, power, and food, but they got missiles like you wouldn't believe. It's not like you can eat missiles, but it's interestingly enough, they have enough missiles to level the planet, but they got no food, no water. And supposedly they turned the water back on a week ago. Germany, like I said before, Germany deployed their special forces group to go and snatch hostages. Again, I know that there are German hostages in Gaza, so that's probably why they are releasing the hounds, if you will. Iranian's chief of staff, Major General Mohammed Baghir, the patience of nations and resistant forces is running thin in the face of a barbarity of the occupation, talking about Israel. No one will be able to stop them if their patience runs out. He's threatening Israel indirectly. Obviously, he's saying that if enough nations get pissed, the Muslim nations, that is, if they get pissed, they're going to set it off on Israel, and there's nothing that can be done to stop them. This is probably why the United States is moving into position, because they see this writing on the wall as well. Israeli Defense Minister Gallant threatens Hezbollah. If Hezbollah wants to launch a campaign, it should take photos of what happened to Gaza first. Very good reply. I like that. Germany says it will give priority to Israel and weapons export. Now, I did find it interesting that supposedly Hamas has been getting some of their weapons from North Korea. So that's something that to be said, that North Korea has been handing weapons to Hamas. Germany has now deployed special forces. All right, I read that bullshit already. We will consider any attempt to displace Palestinians from the West Bank as a declaration of war. This was the Jordanian foreign minister. So supposedly, I'm hearing about the West Bank a lot and how Israel is looking to displace people from the West Bank, and if so, the Jordanian foreign ministry, or rather Jordan, will get involved. Molotov cocktail was thrown at a Jewish synagogue in Berlin, Germany. Russians are sending 27 tons of humanitarian aid to Gaza. Very, again, now the humanitarian aid, I know what Israel said a week ago. Hopefully they changed their mind on that. But I'm surprised that more people or more countries are not sending aid. The U.S. State Department, guys, has issued a global warning due to the increased tension in various locations around the world. The potential for terrorist attacks, demonstrations, or act of violence against American citizens and interests. This came from the Department of State, U.S. State Department, rather. Sorry, as far as traveling goes. I mean, I could see that for anywhere now in the world. German calls on its citizens again to leave Lebanon. Okay, so hundreds of pro-Palestinian rioters attacked a synagogue in Spanish enclave in Melilla in North Africa, which is a small Spanish, I guess, community, if you will. The autonomous Spanish city, which lies on the Mediterranean coast in an autonomous zone of Spain in North Africa and borders Morocco. I didn't even know this place existed. But it did now because rioters were attacking the synagogue. And there was nobody in the synagogue. But whatever. Evidence shows Hamas militants likely used a North Korean weapon to attack Israel. That was the first set it off. So there's evidence on that. Historic synagogue in Tanzania heavily damaged in rioting tied to the Israel-Hamas war. Now, this is not a weird story, but again, we're going to see more of this. Honeymooners were slain in Uganda. They were ID'd as David Barlow and Celia Geyer. They think that this slaying was connected to an ISIS attack, which was, again, connected to the Israeli-Hamas war. The Pentagon, if possible, that the missile intercept our ship near Yemen were destined for Israel. So the U.S., like I said, Carney guys, that was the American vessel that intercepted the missiles from Yemen headed to Israel. So now Yemen's involved. Yemen's lobbing missiles at Israel. We are officially, guys, in a world war. I would think so. The Pentagon admits yesterday we had a soldier killed in an attack. That was, I labeled it interesting news because I didn't know where else it came from. But they said the Pentagon admitted yesterday that we had a soldier that was killed in an attack. The Kanoko gas pipeline in eastern Syria was blown up by Iranian proxies. That was a bit of an interesting story. Unidentified individuals targeted a gas pipeline connecting the Kaneko power plant in northern Dizar to the Od Kashbash Desert and western Deir Ezzar. So that was another gas line that was targeted, and then you had the one in Kanoko, if I said that right. U.S. Navy again intercepts 3 missiles that were fired from Yemen, potentially at Israel. I don't know why they keep saying potentially at Israel when they can figure that out. Jordan, the country of Jordan, said the worst is yet to come in the Gaza war. Again, guys, this is a shit show that's unfolding. It's almost every day I wake up and I'm like, how much more worse can this get? And I'm going to tell you right now, this could get a whole hell of a lot worse, man. Until we hit nuclear level or we get close to it, that's the worst it can get. And we're steadily creeping up to that zone. There's a lot of crazy shit going on with Canada. At least what the Canadian president's doing. I'm like, why the fuck is he? The world is falling apart, and he's worried about like dumb shit. There was something else he did. Oh, trying to outlaw like Joe Rogan and Russell Brand, like trying to outlaw them from speaking there by setting these new rules. They changed their last names into Hebrew names. Fake names created. Parasites kill children and sacrifice. All right, whatever. Reading the fucking comment section again, like, I shouldn't be doing that. So, of course, guys, there was an explosion in an Orthodox church in Gaza City where people were seeking shelter. Reports of multiple casualties. And we have U.S. intelligence is now estimating 100 to 300 killed in the Gaza hospital strike, according to a document. And, of course, there was a man that punched a woman in the face and told her because she was Jewish. I mean, there are people you could look at and you could tell they're Jewish. But then there are other people you look at, you think they're Jewish and they're not. So I mean, like, and we're going to see more of that on both sides, I think. I definitely think we'll definitely see being these attackers or these people attacking one another just because they think they're Jewish or they think they're Palestinian or Muslim for that matter. This is why I say keep your head on the swivel, because things are going to get listen, they're going to get bad at all levels. It's not just so much what's happening overseas now. It's also what's happening here. A lot, especially the FBI. Now, remember I told you, right, that FBI agent that contacted my buddy to let her know that, shit was going to get real on Jihad Day and nothing happened, right? But he was partially right in the sense that now then the FBI a few days later says this isn't over. There could be more things headed our way. That everyone needs to be ready. Everybody, guys, needs to be ready. Like I said before, if you carry. If you have medical kits, get that shit squared away. Make sure you're ready to rock and roll in case the hammer is dropped. Because the hammer is going to drop. It's just a matter of when. I don't want to sit here and sound like I'm scaring the shit out of people because I'm not trying to. But shit is definitely coming our way, guys, without a doubt. Now, guys, on the Angry Truth channel tonight, we're going to be talking about while we were being distracted. There was a couple of interesting things that happened. And the one interesting thing that happened is really going to piss you off if you tune in later tonight. Because when I read it, I was like, wait, what? How the hell did they let that happen? Nonetheless, guys, it happened because we're all staring at Israel and Palestine, the Middle East. We're staring at the Middle East. We're watching that shit show unfold. And while we're all like, oh my God, look what's happening over there, these fucktards pulled some shit off. And now there's only one course of action. And that one course of action is to boycott a certain company. So for those that are interested, stay tuned tonight, which is in another 15 minutes or so, on the Angry Truth channel. And I might just jump right into it. So as soon as I end this stream at 10, I'm going to jump into that, do about 15, 20 minutes, and then off. I got to go to work tomorrow, so I want to square a couple of things away and then, go lay down. Because I'm getting old. Whatever. Fuck it. Stefano, Prime Minister, President, isn't it all one and the same? Is there a difference between a Prime Minister and a President? I actually never looked that up, and I've always asked that question. Is there a difference? But, it's all one and the same, man. It's your leader. Guy's fucking shit up. And I'm surprised nobody is trying to deal with that asshole. Which is like, we're getting to that point, guys, where that's seemingly the only way to deal with these motherfuckers. Sure, Kathy Hochul's in Israel to placate to the Jews in New York, if that makes sense. Right? So the only time a politician is going over there is to secure votes with the Jewish population. There's no need for her to go over there. There really isn't. But she wants to be one of the many other politicians who were hiding from the bomb. You read some of these stories that such as a senator had to hide from a bomb. The fucking bomb went off like 20, 30 miles away. No danger whatsoever. But then an article comes out saying that such and such politician was hiding in one of the bomb shelters. Who gives a fuck? Who cares? But they report that, and it sounds cool. So Kathy Hochul's hoping she can go over there and be like, I was in a bomb shelter because the shit got real. Who gives a fuck? At this point, if a fucking bomb hit her, I don't think anyone would miss her. I'm not advocating for the enemies. Listen, as much as I don't like Kathy Hochul, Eric Adams at Cancer, or Biden, I'm not hoping for our enemies to hit them. Right? Because let us hit them with baseball bats and rubber hoses. But not the enemy who's going to do the same to us. To them, like, no dice. And, Hochul has no business there, to be honest with you. She has zero business being there. She's just, rubbing dicks on her faces and hoping that she gets voted in again. But that's all it is. It's a political move. I don't think she wants to be president. And even if switching gears, guys, I don't know how a lot of these people who are a New York City politician want to run for president, right? De Blasio, why would he think that he was going to run for president? Who in their right mind was going to vote for this idiot? This guy's Eric Adams supposedly wants to run for president. Supposedly. He fucked the city up so much, I do not see him running for president. And even if he runs for president, who's going to vote for him? So Kathy Hochul running for president? Why? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand these liberals wanting to run for president. I just don't see it. You have to do a stellar job and have a stellar record to run for president. Joe F. Yeah, exactly. It's photo op. It's all for her future campaigning. Because if I'm not mistaken, she's going to run for governor again. I think. I think she's going to run for governor again, and she's just posturing. That's all. She's like, look at me. She's going to, that campaign ad that's going to come on at fucking 6 in the afternoon when they're watching the news, and it's going to show Kathy Hochul with a helmet on inside of Israel, standing there at the rubble, shaking hands with some poor Israeli kid, sitting there taking a knee, wiping a tear out of some kid's face. Meanwhile, it wasn't a tear, it was just dirt in his eye. It's going to be that campaign bullshit that we all fucking see. And it's crazy how people don't see through that. I was downstairs talking to somebody the other day. We were talking about a politician, and we were talking about some bullshit they did. I forgot. It might have been AOC. Might have been. And I'm like, that's all a ploy. You believe that shit? Well, they didn't have to be there. I'm like, you don't understand that there's safe zones in these places and that they're not in any direct danger. Because if they were, they wouldn't be allowed to be there. Right? So it's unbelievable to me that people fall for these campaign ads and they go, wow, she was in Israel. She was putting her life on the line. To do what? To rub a couple fucking Jewish dicks on her faces so she gets a couple fucking votes? The fuck out of here. And people believe that shit. People fall for these fucking campaign ads. I don't understand why they do, but they do. And I understand why they do, because it's stupid. You should have seen, there was an ad for, oh my God, what was it for? And I almost fucking punched my computer right across the fucking, what the fuck was it for? It wasn't for a person, it was for something. And they were like, oh, congestion prices for here in the city. They have this congestion pricing thing where if you go below 60th Street, you get, you pay not a tax, you pay a toll. So whatever that toll is, right? You pay that toll when you go down there. It's like $3 or $5 or whatever it is. And so the ad came on for it and was like, if you sit there and please vote for congestion pricing, this is going to be, it's going to elevate our income. It's going to leave less cars in the city. It's going to make the city safer vehicle wise. That's what they said. It's going to make the city safer because there's going to be less cars downtown, and you could walk around without being worried about hitting. I was like, what the fuck? What is that? How the fuck did they turned congestion pricing or toll into a safety video by saying there'll be less cars, you'll be safer. What the fuck? My fucking computer almost flew across the room. I was like, I couldn't believe that. It was on YouTube. It was a commercial on YouTube. That's what it was. And I just could not believe what I was fucking hearing. I was like, what the fuck? Mira says, Arab Muslims are much better people. She clearly doesn't know Muslims or Arab Muslims. She's an idiot. I hope that she one day goes to one of those Muslim countries and goes, hey boys, I hear you guys are better. And they fucking, turn her into a fucking porn video. That's exactly what's going to happen to her. They are not better people. That side of the world is savages. Indians, what they do to fucking women over there, like in India, they rape women on a constant over there. It's almost like a rite of passage. In Muslim countries, forget it, those men, they're always raping women. They're raping women like it's fucking free. Probably is free. Not the point. I can't believe people that I can't believe people that think that whatever. I'm trying to make sense out of stupid people's comments. I find myself doing that a lot more these days. A military spec computer, I probably do, because half the shit that I'm seeing on here, like I watched a lady, guys, the other day. She was on a date. She ate 48 oysters while on the date. While she's slurping the oysters 48 fucking times, she's videoing herself eating the oysters. While her date, I didn't say Indians, I would say Indians also, stupid. Anyway, while she was on a date, her date is sitting across from her. But you wouldn't have known that because she's filming herself eating oysters. Anyway, the guy gets up and leaves at some point. But she didn't realize that he left because she was filming herself eating oysters and making slurping sounds 48 fucking times. Now, who the fuck can eat 48 oysters? I don't know. But this bitch did. And when she finally looked up, her date was gone. And she goes, he's been in the bathroom for 20 minutes. She goes, I think he dipped out on me. Yeah, idiot, he dipped out on you because you're fucking videoing yourself eating oysters and not even talking to him. And the whole time she's like, these are so good. These are the best. These are so good. Oh my God. These are so... The idiotic shit we're seeing online is out of fucking control. And these women, or rather people, filming themselves every step of the way. And it's insane that it's just the stupidity factor is getting bigger and bigger. I fear that in another year or two, next generation will be totally stupids. They'll be known as the stupid generation. Not generation Z, X, or Y. They'll be generation fucking stupid. That's what we're going to be. She said, in a heartbeat, in a burqa. Mira, the fact that you're saying you would live in a place like that in a burqa means you're probably the ugliest woman on the planet, and you're just looking for any dick action any way you can get it. You're probably that kind of woman. You're so fucking horrendous looking. You're like, I'll take anybody's dick. I'll wear a burqa if I have to. That's the kind of person you are. Because the more you talk, the more I'm starting to learn that, man, this lady's fucking desperate. She's desperate for attention and Muslim dick being rubbed on her face. Or Jewish dick. What the fuck, man? Anyway, getting my balls broken simultaneously while trying to do a live stream. It's a pain in the ass. Thank you, Jordan. Yes, guys, do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down, whatever floats your boat, whatever it is. Listen, the stupid shit that I'm seeing, guys, in the videos. For example, I can't believe I saw this. I cannot believe I saw this. I think I spoke about it a week ago, but I still can't get over it because every time I see the video, I get stupider for seeing this video. But apparently, this chick took jumper cables out, hooks the jumper cables up to the battery of her car, takes the jumper cables and hooks it up to her fucking rear driver's side wheel. She hooks it on. Her friend is like, what are you doing? She goes, I'm trying to jump the wheel because it's not working. I lost 500 brain cells from looking at that fucking video. I'm like, nobody is that stupid. Apparently in the comment section, it was real. And this woman didn't know. She had the jack out. She had all this shit going on. And she had the fucking... I was like, there's no way she's that fucking stupid. Apparently she is. Yep, Mira's definitely ugly. Anybody who says, I'm beautiful, you just don't know the soul of people, that's an ugly comment, lady. Nice going, ugly. King, thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate it. Now, I don't know Mira from a hole in the wall. I don't know what she looks like, but picking on her right now is fun. So, guys, next week, there should be a ton more shit going on. I'll be doing these updates for the next couple of months. Also, talking about other things that are going on that's definitely going to affect us in the long run. We're seeing a combination of shit happening. We're seeing the possibility of a third world war leading to a nuclear disaster. And then we're watching the WEF do a lot of underhanded, behind-the-back shit while, again, we're all staring at Israel. Anyway, guys, Dark Duty said that was fake. Was that fake? Because in the comment section, they were like that it wasn't fake. She ran out of brake light fluid. If it was, okay. But it didn't look fake. And if it was, that girl was a good actress. The lesbian, the dyke, she was definitely a good actress. Because she was like, I'm trying to charge my fucking wheel. I'm like, yo, that was fucking insane. I can't believe anybody was that stupid. I really can't. Anyway, guys, that being said, I'm going to go off the air. I'm going to head over to the Angry Truth channel. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for dealing with my bullshit. Thank you for the donations. And I will see you guys, some of you guys, in the live stream. Sorry, in the Angry Truth. I might do a Saturday. Might. Depends on what happens. If not, I'll see you guys next Tuesday. All right, guys. Thank you for watching.